Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you about Philodendron Hastatum, or Philodendron Silver Sword as it's commonly known. Now, you may have noticed that I'm not moving around very much in this image here. It's because my intro corrupted in the edit, which is why I'm talking to you via the magic of voiceover. But I do have some video for you, but let's get the introduction out of the way. I want to talk to you about this plant, why it's interesting, and what I'm trying to do with this pot. And then we'll get over to the video that I do have of the underplanting. So today specifically, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Philodendron Silver Sword, its natural habitat, some really interesting facts, or I think they're interesting, about the botany of these plants. And also, as you can see from the image in front of you, I want to do some underplanting. I've got it in this big pot. I wouldn't normally put a plant in such a big pot like this, but it's in my living space, and I wanted specifically this plant to be higher up. Wanted it to be somewhere where I can properly see it. If it was in a small pot, it would be on the floor, out of the way, and I just don't think it displays very well. I was given this beautiful pot, and I just thought it was perfect for it. It is also obviously very heavy, so it's going to be stable. It's not going to topple over as it grows and gets bigger. And as you can see, it's already got some beautiful, mature arrowhead leaves about it, which is great. And just recently, which I'm really excited about, new vines shooting from the base. I'll give you some close-ups of them later on. But the point of this video is that I wanted some underplanting because, as you can see, there's a lot of bare soil, and it's not ideal to have that much spare soil in a plant pot. And the reason being, it's hard to control the watering, because if you thoroughly watered a pot this size, there's going to be way too much water that one single plant is going to take up. So it's just the water's going to sit in the pot, it's going to risk rotting the roots, and generally it's not good, which means you then have to water only the bit of soil that is above the roots that you want. It's quite imprecise, and it's a little bit harder to get the watering right. So by putting some extra planting in here, it's going to make use of that soil. It's going to take up some of the moisture, and I can water it more thoroughly, knowing that the extra plants are going to make use of whatever spare soil is in there. And also, I put in a very free draining mix anyway, with a lot of perlite and some grit and some bark chippings in there as well. So it shouldn't be too bad. And this particular Aroid, the Philodendron Silver Sword, doesn't mind a reasonable amount of water, and also what I'm putting in the underplanting also actually appreciates higher levels of water than normal. So I think it's a good mix. The only thing I'm not 100% sure of is whether the plant will like the lower levels of light, because where I actually have it is not here, it's the other side of this door, you can see, and there's no direct light hitting it. Yeah, there is a window over the other side of the room, which is not south facing, and there is a kitchen window and this area where I'm in, and when that door is open, so there's a lot of light bouncing around, and it is getting light, I can see that, and it seems to be relatively happy because it's put on several leaves since it's been there. And these plants do tend to do well in lower levels of light. After all, they are native to the tropical Brazilian rainforests, where they would be growing on the forest floor where there is lower levels of light anyway. So I think that's a natural environment for it. It seems to be happy enough there. It's been there for about a year. It is growing relatively slowly, but as you can see, it seems happy. There seems to be no problem with the humidity levels, and it's growing several new leaves, and a new one is coming out every couple of weeks or so. So I'm happy with it, and I'm looking forward to this project to see whether we can get the underplanting away, and I'm keen to see whether we can get some nice carpeting of this plant. But I'll describe more about it in the video. But to just finish off this intro section, I want to talk to you about the botany of this plant. So as I've said, it's growing in the Brazilian rainforest, and unfortunately this part of Brazil is in danger from deforestation, and this plant is actually on the endangered list. From what I understand from my research, an insect which is a natural pollinator of this plant actually no longer exists. So there's no natural pollinator for this plant, which obviously is very sad. So it might just be that us in the houseplant community are this plant's last hope. So the plant I've chosen for the underplanting is actually baby tears. I'm not going to give you the botanical name, it's too much of a mouthful. They're commonly available. They have tiny little leaves and they are a carpeting mat forming type of plant, and I really enjoy growing this plant because you can be quite creative with it, and they're really cheap. They're ubiquitous in garden centers, easy to pick up, almost always available, and quite easy to look after. The one thing they do prefer is higher levels of water. I'm hoping they don't mind the lower levels of light, which I think they will tolerate. I've had them in a few different places over the years when I've messed around with them, and I think it will form a really interesting carpet at the bottom of this plant, and it has a real vibrant green color. So I think it's really going to pop and make the sort of slightly shaded area in the corner where this plant sits look really vibrant. So that's my idea. Let's get over to past Andy and we'll get busy with the planting and see how it looks. So that's the update taken care on, a little bit of botanical information. I'm going to get on and get this underplanting done and we'll see how it looks. Alrighty. So I'm just going to remove the pot. There is a lot of very fine roots in here. It's obviously been grown in this pot for a long time. You can see. Now hopefully I'll be able to open this up and split up and let it grow out. Tease out the baby tears. There we go. Now these are a creeping and spreading plant, so what I'll probably do is just break it up into lots of clumps and see how it grows. I think that will be a good idea. These are great plants. These are great plants to do projects with because they're literally like $2.99. Very easy to buy. They're available in lots of places. There's a big old stick in there. They're available in most garden centres, so they're a good thing to try and create projects with. And there we go. Actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different small plants that we can put in here and hopefully create a little bit of an effect to begin with, and then as it starts to grow in it will create a mat hopefully. So fingers crossed, and we'll see how we get on. See, I'm not affecting the roots of the philodendron here because I'm keeping it well back towards the edge where there aren't any philodendron roots, and we're only going a few inches down as well, so the philodendron has the majority of the pot for its own roots. I think that looks pretty good. Let me go and wash my hands and we'll have a closer look. So there we have it. As you can see, that's the baby tears. I mean, I could have bought another one and just really added into all the other small spaces to really create an instant carpet. But I think I'll see how it goes and see how it grows in and how quickly it fills up those gaps. If it doesn't grow very quickly, I may well do that because they are, as I said, very cheap plants. But as you can see, if I get a bit closer, here are the new the new vines already coming up on each vine, which is fantastic. Very pleased to see that. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they work their way up this moss pole and see how they get on with the rest of the plant. But there we are. That is the whole thing in all its glory. A magnificent silver sword philodendron with some freshly put in underplanting to create just something a little bit more interesting down at the bottom of the pot. And we'll see how that goes. It's a bit of an experiment, but I think if it grows happily in the lower light environment, that will look excellent. And as I say, I may find some natural looking rocks to go in there as well to create a more interesting environment. But I'm going to give this a good water because these do like to remain moist. So I'll do that now and I'll keep you posted on how we get on with this mini project. But yeah, I hope you found it useful for now. Please give it a thumbs up if you have and subscribe for more houseplant related videos coming along very soon. Bye for now.